All right, we're back live, everyone. We're back up and running. So if you don't, well, if you don't see it or hear it, you won't be hearing or seeing what I'm saying. So, all right, someone said it's all right. Where are we anyway? Oh, it's go figure, 11:33. There's that number again. Cannot get rid of it. Hi Don, how you doing? Good to see you. Okay, just checking something over here. So who wants to call in next? My phone is lonely. Yeah, what's that joke? Women don't fart. The dog did. They blame it on the dog. No, no. Get away. Oh, look. Oh, man. Got them back paws going, the butts in the air. Oh, man. Now they're both in heat, and I'm certain now. The one that's usually the loudest, she's been in heat for a couple days. She's just sitting there kind of quiet, staring off at nowhere, you know. Yeah, I got 7 hours sleep, so I slept good this morning. Yeah, I was falling asleep, and everybody was like, there was like, I don't know, 15, 16 people still in the live chat. So I said, well, I'll leave the live stream going so y'all can continue to talk. And I don't know, I think I came in and shut it off at 4 p.m. That thing ran all night, 12, what was it, 18 hours, something like that. Absolutely, Ron, whenever you want to call. Yeah. Yeah, it was on all morning and into the afternoon to late afternoon. Yeah, he spoke for a couple hours. Oh, Enoch speaks a lot about angels, a lot about the fallen ones, the watchers. Yeah, what that scripture is talking about when it says that we will judge we will even judge angels. I'm paraphrasing. What that's talking about is the fallen angels, not the angels that didn't fall. Cool, Salted. Fantastic. More than I care to, cowboy. What? Can you all hear her? Hello, who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Hello, who am I speaking to?
This is Almighty Ron.
Hey, everybody, Almighty Ron's on the phone. Floor is all yours, brother.
So, I'm on my break right now. I'm at work. But I've been following you for a while. And I found you around the time you did the thing on CERN and the faces. But, I mean, I've kind of been lurking for a while. I just wanted to call and kind of give you guys a little bit of a testimony on my behalf. Because, I mean, when I was young, I wasn't really raised to go to church or anything like that. My parents split before I was old enough to remember. But as I got older, I developed like really bad attitudes. And I mean, it was all around me. I had really bad attitude with school, pretty much everything in general. But, I live in North Carolina, so church is around me all the time. And people kept trying to convince me to go. And for some reason, I had it in my head that church was pretty much, well, not really church, but Christianity in general was just sort of made up like the Easter Bunny or, the Tooth Fairy, something to that effect. But as I got older, I started hitting these roadblocks, and they were overwhelming. And I didn't really have anybody to talk to. So I remember I was at a point in my life. This happened around 2012. I was at a point in my life where I hated everything and anyone around me. I didn't want to be around anybody. And as I got, in that frame of mind, I pretty much only had one choice. And I know you're not really supposed to do this, but this is how I approached the situation. I was working a job. I was what they call a planner for the plant that I was in. I purchased materials to make sure the operations ran correctly and everything. And, the job was so stressful. I dealt with so much, and it got overwhelming. And one day I was on my way to work, and I made a prayer. And I had always heard about prayer, but I never really, did my part with prayer. But I remember what I said, and don't get me wrong, I know not to do this now, but then I was like, they say there's a God. They say you can hear everything we say. Keep in mind, I was atheist at the time as well. But I said, they say there's a God. They say you can hear everything we say, but I don't see you anywhere. And I was like, they say that you love all of us and that there is a heaven and there is a hell. And I need you to help me. And I think we both know that I'm at a point where I have so much on me that if you do not show me you can hear me, then I will never give you another chance. This is it. And I had been at this job for around 2 years, and it was that very same day that I was laid off from work. I mean, it was like a slap in the face, but I mean, it was enough for me to know, being the person that I was then, it was enough for me to know somebody heard what I said. So as time goes on, I reconnected with a friend of mine, and this guy, I mean, he was always into people like Alex Jones and people like that. But, you know, I was friends with him when I was growing up, but he got real bad into drugs, and everything he did just kind of wasn't something I wanted to be around. But somehow I reconnected with him, and he was able to convey a message to me that what happened to me was not by chance. It wasn't a coincidence. And I remember, you know, I would hear the things he said, and I would come home, and I would start research. And the more and more I researched everything, the more and more I realized that everything that the Bible tells you is true. And before this time, I wouldn't even pick a Bible up. I mean, I just did not. I felt like I had more important things to do. So just connecting with him kind of really, it put it in my head that there's something to this. But, you know, this is another thing that I've talked about a lot with some friends of mine, but I haven't really ever shared this with anyone. But this guy, he really helped me to understand a lot of the things that I didn't understand because I never gave it a chance. And I had another friend that we all were friends when we were growing up. It was pretty much just the three of us, and they had a falling out. And, you know, just the things that were going on, I was friends with both of these guys, but they weren't talking. And I don't know what happened, but, I mean, now I know what happened with this situation, but it was like I would get up every day, and the first thing I would think is this guy is not going to be around much longer. And before I would go to bed every night, I would think the same thing. And it was just constant. It was just like a constant nagging feeling. And as time goes on, I get this feeling that I need to tell my other friend what I'm feeling. You know, I didn't want to discuss it with the guy I felt like wasn't going to be around much longer, but I decided to talk to my other friend about it. He was getting married, and I felt, just in my heart, I felt this guy would regret not letting this other guy come to his wedding. I felt like it was like the last moment we would all be able to be together, you know. And so I remember telling him, and it took me 3 or 4 months to convince him. I finally was able to get these two guys to, you know, forgive each other, reconcile, and I got that done. This guy was getting married, I think it was in July. And the guy that I had this feeling about, he actually got killed in a car wreck that following September. So, you know, the point that I'm making here is, in my belief, God sent him to pretty much help me find my way. Once he did what he was supposed to do in my life, he was supposed to go. So, you know, that's just what I wanted to say. I usually don't say much, but, you know, I wanted to let you guys know, if I can come to the Lord the way I did, being as atheist as I was, anybody can do it.
Amen, brother.
So that's pretty much all I have to say. I've got to go back to work, but I did want to let you guys know.
All right. Well, you have a good night at work, and when you pop in, or if you're kind of in while you're working, We'll see you in the live chat, and thank you so much for giving your testimony. For certain
Yes,
you helped someone tonight.
I hope so. You guys take it easy. I'm gonna get off here, and then I'll put you back in my pocket and keep listening.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
There we go, folks. Another awesome caller. Almighty Ron called in from work to give his testimony. Who's next? Oh, I was looking for something. Oh. Oh, okay, yes. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do real quick. Since we were talking about pets and pets passing, when my duders passed away, let me see if I can find this now. All right, well, here's a video that I created the next night, and it was in honor of my duders, so I'm going to play it for y'all.
Old dog went to sleep today. He won't be waking up. Couldn't stand to see his pain. Had him since a pup. Though his body failed, his spirit still prevailed, and it will live on, making me strong. 'Cause my old dog went to sleep today. Old dog is at peace today, though I still fall apart. Took all of his body's pain, put it in my heart. But it's too much to bear, my soul is in despair when I can't go home. I gotta be strong, 'cause my old dog is at peace today. Oh, the crying comes at the strangest time. This morning was quite the scene. Put my dirty plate on the ground, no one licked it clean. Oh. And as time goes by, I still break down and cry, but it ain't for long. I just sing this song, and my old dog is with me today. My old dog sent me peace today. saw him in my sleep. Said that he was free from pain, except for when I weep. Someday when it's right, our souls will reunite, and we will live home forever as one. 'Cause my old dog sent me peace today.
Excuse me. Yeah, I made that in honor of my duders, and still makes me teary-eyed when I watch it. Yeah, he was my baby. I had my computer store when I got him, and I lived in the there was an apartment in the basement, and that's where I lived. And him and I were together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So he was a big part of my life. And when I came to Erie, he became an extremely big part of my dad's life and my whole family's. So it was a crusher when he passed away. Ron, you had an awesome voice. And your testimony was strong. So who wants to call in? Sounds good, Longreach. We'll be here. I'm not going to be wicked late tonight because, like I said, I got to get up at 9 o'clock and call the attorney and find out what time I have to be down the courthouse to testify in that trial. Ew. So nobody's got a testimony to share, huh? I shared mine. I did the hour-long video. Probably put most of y'all to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, it sounded like war. There was so many guns going off. I mean, there was a lot of guys shooting at one another on both ends of the street, too. It was crazy that night. Oh, man. I think I slept wrong last night. My back has had a kink in it all day. Yeah, one of these days I'd like to break the Erie curse and actually get out of here, you know. Right now I'm sticking around in Erie because of my father. When he passes away, I'm probably going to move somewhere far away. Maybe go back down to Florida or maybe out west towards Texas, Arizona. I don't know. Just away from Erie. There you go. I think my one nephew lives in North Carolina with his wife. Now, on my days on this earth, I've been to the 48 states and the lower 48 states. I haven't been to Hawaii and Alaska yet. My one sister, Roxanne, she's up here right now. She's been up here for a little over a month now, helping to take care of my father since my other sister had um, the surgery for the breast cancer, the double mastectomy, and she's on the mend. So my sister's been here helping out, but she lives down in Arkansas, and nice area, but I didn't like the weather there. Hello, who am I talking to?
Hey, it's Kristen again. How are you?
I am doing good. So what's on your mind, Kristen?
Everyone just told me to call, so I'm calling.
There you go.
Just to give you someone to talk
to. So what did you do today?
What did I do today? I did just chores. I took my kids grocery shopping. Just, Sunday stuff. What did you do today? You watched football, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a couch potato and watched football. Being raised in New England, my whole family is Patriots fans, so we had to watch the game, you know.
Please don't say that. I take that back. Really, I'm a huge football fan, so I shouldn't diss on anybody's team.
Well, hey, no problem there. I'm used to it. Everybody hates the Patriots.
I'm the only one in Washington who's probably not a Seahawks fan.
So what do you think about what's been going on in the live chat tonight?
Do what?
So what do you think about what they've been talking about in live chat tonight?
The chat's awesome. You have great chatters. They have so much to say, and really, they're very welcoming to people. They're very kind to people, and I just appreciate them, whether they call in or not. I mean, it's nice to have someone call in, but it's really nice just to sit and chat with people. Yeah,
that's why this morning, it was coming on 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was like just whooped. But there were still like 19 people in the room chatting away, so I told everybody I would leave the live stream live so that they could continue to chat, and I guess they talked all morning,
That's awesome. I went to sleep. I couldn't stay awake. When your father went to sleep, I was like, okay, I'm going to bed too. Because you were like, oh, it's going on 7, and I looked over at the clock and I'm like, oh, it's going on 4. And I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to be sleeping until 2 o'clock. Set my alarm to go off so that I wouldn't sleep all day. But my dog woke me up. She needs to go out, so the thing is, Paul, is that at 7 o'clock in the morning your time, 4 a.m. my time, because there were people that were from the West Coast on here. That's a good number of people to be in a live chat.
Oh, absolutely. That's the one I've noticed. This live stream, for right now, it averages right around 20 to 25 people, and when it gets really late, it usually goes somewhere around 15, or down to 10.
Right.
But last night, it's morning time, and they were just still cranking. So I said, all right, I'll leave it open for everyone to talk,
And that's awesome that you did that. Because what happens is, like, you wanted to go to sleep or needed to go to sleep, but there were people that were still ready and willing to stay up and wanted to commune with each other and fellowship with each other, and you gave them the place to do that. And I thought that was really, really cool of you. As much as I wanted to stay and chat with them all, I'm old and I was tired and I couldn't believe it was 4 a.m. The time just flew by last night.
Yeah, it did.
And but that also is like a testimony of its own to show how powerful your chat is that people stayed. You weren't even there, but the people still were there, and they communed with each other. And it goes back to like people saying they're lonely and how this whole Mandela effect. Because I think most of the people that are in your chat are definitely part of the Mandela community. But what you have, while the roots sit in the Mandela effect, the product of it is your channel.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so you leaving your chat up, I don't know many YouTubers who would do that, to would totally just go to sleep, leave their chat open, and know that it would be okay.
Yeah, I turned it over to the Lord. I said a prayer and said, watch over it, and I'm sure there'll be wrenches in there, and let him take care of it. Because, like I said, this thing isn't about me, it's about you. It's about us as a group, as a congregation under the Lord. And just because I need to go to sleep, everyone else needed to talk, so I left it open for everyone to talk. And I haven't run across another YouTuber that's done that before.
I haven't either, and I think that's awesome.
I think Salted said that Salted had a live stream that he left running for 48 hours once.
Wow.
I said, well, I don't think I'll beat that record.
No, but that's just still, and to hear, to see in chat that people were like, oh, I popped in. I came in and you were on. I left and you were on, and then I popped back in, and I just thought that was so cool. And I kick myself now because I'm thinking it might have still been going when I got up this morning. But it's like I didn't get a notification that you were even live tonight. I haven't gotten any notifications that you've been live tonight.
Oh, I've been hearing that a lot from people. It seems like YouTube is not notifying people when I go live. Maybe it's just their way of censoring me,
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah. I was trying to talk to my kids. My kids are 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah.
And we were gone to the grocery store tonight. We ended up talking about YouTube, and and I was trying to just. My one daughter's doing American history, and mind you, I live in a very wealthy small college town. It's very liberal. The curriculum is very liberal. The teachers teach their political views, and so my daughter comes back, and some of the stuff she spouts off, know what I think about that. But she was on a rant about free speech and stuff like that. And so we kind of talked about how, because she was talking about what a good place YouTube was and how you could say anything you wanted and everything. And I was like, well, not really. And so we talked about free speech and all of these things. And it was just really interesting to get her take on things because she's very, liberally taught, conservatively is how, we were a conservative household. It's how we raised her. But it's interesting to see how liberally she's being educated.
Yeah.
And how she is the one who was totally fallen, and everything that's been told her, she just is like a sponge and absorbs it. Now, my other daughter, who was raised the exact same way, is really strong in her faith and in her foundation, to the point where she has to do an oral report on abortion, and she's struggling with it because she has to do it unbiased. So she really does have to go and research it from both points of view, not just her own faith-filled point of view and her strong conviction against it. She's really had to push through some of her own barriers, I guess. I don't even think barriers is the right word, but she's had to push through and go to a side of this subject that is ugly, and she and I talked about this, and but just to see the stress it's taken on her is just, I just feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
And but but for her, no, like my oldest daughter wouldn't be able to do a report like that. This daughter, she's the one who will be able to do this report because she's already seen both sides. She's already made up her mind how she believes on it. She's definitely not pro. She's definitely anti. But she really is struggling with having to stay unbiased. She said that was the hardest part for her, is that she wasn't allowed to bring any of her convictions into it, and had to be an unbiased presenter of this situation. And I don't even know how she got this topic. And I'm hoping that she can word it in such a way that she can get her convictions in without being blatantly biased, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, see, if I was in school and they would have gave me that and said that I have to speak on both sides of the issue, I just give you my side and take an F. You know what I mean? I couldn't do that.
Yes, and I think that I really think that her grade will be lower because I don't think she'll be able to do it unbiased. I do not think that she will be able to get up there and stand in front of people and be able to totally unbiased give her speech on it. And but I'm just like, 15 years old and this is what they're having her do in high school. And I'm like, she's 15 and you want her to defeat the pros and cons? Come on. That kind of floored me too.
Well, now they're taking kindergartners and teaching them that they need to select what gender they are, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's just, this whole education system has gone absolutely, completely upside down,
Yeah. Okay, I just need to say something to Psychosomatic in there. He said he's fighting his eyelid. You fell asleep last night, did you, Mr. Psycho? Because we were talking about the phone falling on his face.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm assuming Psycho is a he. I'm assuming Psycho is a he. assuming happened last night, and I made the comment that I hope that when he fell asleep, that the corner of his phone didn't fall in his eye and give him a black eye. That's what I was teasing about after he left. So anyway, it was funny. I just see him saying that he's getting sleepy-eyed again.
There you go. Hey, this is I don't know, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I had been up for almost 48 hours, and I was doing the live stream, and it was about, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning. Here I am, the host, and I fell asleep.
Paul, I was on that call.
Oh, okay, there you go. You were on that show that night. Yeah, everybody was all worried about me, you know?
Yeah, that was me. So does anybody else want to call in? Is there anyone else who wants to call in? Because I'll hang up. I'm just chit-chatting here. It really isn't a subject that we're talking about. I'm just rambling. So is there anyone else who wants to call? Because otherwise I'll keep...
Teresa wants to call.
You want to call Teresa? Then I'm going to go ahead and hang up.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling. I really appreciate it. It's been a blessing.
No problem. If you need someone to just do kind of what I did, call and chit chat to fill some airtime, just let me know. I'll call. I'm not shy.
All right, absolutely. Love you, sister.
All right, love you too, Paul.
Bye.
Bye.
There you go. That's the one thing about this software. Well, this application on the phone. Come on. All right, good. Now I can clear that out. After a phone call, it'll come up with an advertisement. Well, the phone is open. I'm working on this software where I can use Skype to do that, Anonymous, but the reason why I don't use Hangouts is because I want people to see the live stream or the live chat in the live stream, so that people that watch this afterwards can actually watch what's being said in the live chat in the live stream, and it's nice and big and clear, so that people can see who's talking and what they're actually saying. Where when people try to do the live chat using Google Hangouts, it's really tiny and you actually can't read what people are saying without magnifying glasses, you know. But maybe one time we'll, if I put a panel together, we'll do the Hangouts for one time. But I really want to see if I can get that the Skype going so that I can use Skype and bring that up. I'll look into that, Anonymous. I'll see what I can do with that. Teresa, I thought you said you wanted to call. Phone's open for you, girl. Hello, who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Is this Teresa?
Hi. Hey, it's my first time ever calling in.
Who is this?
How are you?
Tell your name for everyone in the live chat.
Yes. I come from a different channel, Brian McFarland's channel. Are you aware of him?
Yes.
I'm the residue hunter. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know who we're talking to. How you doing tonight?
Fine. I was on Scarab's channel last week, and I figured it was time for me to venture out.
There you go.
You know, and let people know what I do and my story. I don't know if anybody cares to know my story. How? Can I ask a question? Are you affected?
Oh, I'm very awake. Very awake.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Whew. I wanted to share my story and how I felt the pre-awakening. I want to know if anybody else remembers the pre-awakening. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, it does. When you first come in contact with this before you're actually awake and it's kind of messing with your head.
Yes. My story, I've been awake about a year now. Mine started in December. Not December that just went by, but the December before about a year ago. So probably would be December 2016.
Okay.
Mine started a few months probably before I woke up. I knew things were off, and I don't know how to explain this, and it's going to sound kind of bizarre. I feel like I was walking around like in a dream state. Does that make sense? Like in a dream state? Like I knew things were not real. Like I would not be able to focus on things and see things clearly. Like it felt like sort of like having jet lag. That's the way I explained it to Scarab was it was like having jet lag. You're on a long trip, you get off the plane, and you know your body's there, but your mind hasn't caught up yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And in the few months that led up to my awakening, I was hearing like everybody else hears. I got the buzzing in my ear. I was hearing a lot of strange noises that were coming from. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any of that. And I was hearing noises like explosion noises. And I live in Las Vegas, by the way. Just so you know, I'm from the West. I moved from Florida, Orlando, Florida, in 2004 to Las Vegas, and I've been living here since. So it was a big change for me coming from Florida to Las Vegas. And when I lived in Florida, I had never had any paranormal experiences prior to the Mandela effect. And I've had a lot of strange things happening to me since I woke up. And like I said, the few months awakening, prior to the awakening, I knew things were wrong. I look at things and I'll be like, that's wrong. That just don't look right. And I couldn't explain what was going on and how I woke up. It was actually accidental. I was in Facebook and I saw somebody talking about Skechers shoes. And for me, I've worn Skechers pretty much probably many years, as long as they've been out. And I remember the T in them. And one day I saw the word Skechers, and the way they had it spelled was wrong to me. And I went, what? And I looked on my shelf, and I found that my Skechers that I remembered with the T had changed on me, and I freaked out. I could not sleep. I was like on Facebook going, oh my God. And you know, everybody goes through the stages with the Mandela effect. You go through the shock stage. You go through the depression stage. You go through the stage of why is this going on, which is at the stage I'm at now. I pretty much accepted it. I take every day, no matter what's going to happen. I actually had an experience happen to me about an hour ago. Brian was doing like some, you know, life is like a box of chocolates video when he was doing a little traveling earlier today, and I decided just to see if I could find some residue, which I do residue hunting every day, pretty much my whole life now.
Yeah.
It's been all about residue hunting. I found residue for Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. I was sitting in the clubhouse where I live in an apartment complex. I played it. It said, Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. And I had the volume loud enough for my non-Mandela friend heard me play it, and she said, oh, yeah, Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. And I shook my head, and I said, yeah. I decided to play the video over again. Guess what?
What?
It changed.
Really?
It changed within less than 5 minutes, and then it said Life was Like a Box. And I went, what? And I looked at her, I said, you hear that? She goes, oh, no, that's what it was. I said, no, it wasn't. 5 minutes ago, you said Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. I think they must send some, like, programming to these non-Mandela people, like an what's the word that Brian used? Like an upgrade within minutes.
Yeah, an upload.
She said Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. Yeah. And she turned around and said, no, I said, what? I said, no, you didn't. I said, my God, I wish I would have recorded this. And my video changed within less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
I'm going, was. And that's not the only experience I've had. I've had experiences that I looked up residue on the computer. I literally watched it change in front of me on the computer. I'm not talking about a video. I'm talking about a still picture that I found that, like I said, Chick-fil-A, which I remember CHICFILA, and all of a sudden the K pops up.
Yeah.
I visually have witnessed not just that, other residue that's changed in front of me. Probably about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, I had sent some residue to Brian, and I had posted it on Facebook. When I was on Facebook, because right now I'm still on Facebook, but I can't get on it because my stupid phone doesn't have enough room on the phone.
Right.
And I posted a bunch of little boxes that said Fruit Loops, spelled with the Fruit, which I grew up on, and I remember because I used to. Each color had a different fruit to me, like the purple was grape and the red was cherry or strawberry, and each color represented to me a different fruit. And I used to tell my dad about it when he was alive. Oh, I love all these different colored fruits. And that's how I remember it. Well, I posted it on Facebook. It said Fruit. There was like 20 little teeny boxes.
Yeah.
I sent it to Brian. Brian saw it. Do you know within a day to 2 days after that, I went back and it changed.
Really?
All the posts that I did on several Facebooks literally changed to FROOT. Brian and I freaked out. I said, Brian, look at your thing that I sent you the other day. He goes, yeah, it said fruit. I said, look at it now. And he was like having a WTF moment. He was shocked. And I've gone through so many weird paranormal things. I went to have breakfast about 6 months ago, and there was a girl and a guy and another girl that came in, and they were eating breakfast. I saw the girl sit down. I looked straight at her shirt. It was like a burgundy and a white shirt. It said volunteers, and the first thing I thought was, oh, I wonder who she volunteers for. I looked down on my phone, waiting for my food to come, looked up. Her shirt that she had on, the word changed and said Queenie. She did not get up. She did not put on a sweater. She didn't put anything on. The word on her shirt completely changed to Queenie, and I freaked out.
Really?
I've had so many weird paranormal experiences ever since I've had the Mandela effect. And another thing I took pictures of, which I sent to Brian. I know you're not going to believe this, but I've seen it. I live in Vegas. I took 3 pictures of it, and I sent them to Brian. He's got them somewhere with all the residue stuff that I sent him. I saw a shape of a city in the sky. I witnessed it.
Yeah.
I'm literally, the first time I seen it was February 9th of 2017. I remember the day I came home from work. I got dropped off near my apartment because I don't have a car. My friend dropped me off, my boss. Walked up in front of the apartment complex, looked up at the sky, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wait a minute, am I seeing what I'm seeing? And and I'm standing there staring at it, trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. I literally could see a shape of a city in the sky. I'm not talking about low. I'm talking about high up.
Right.
And yes, it was cloudy. You could clearly see the shape of the city. I could see the skyscrapers. I could see the little buildings. And I'm standing there looking at this going, oh, my God. And people are just driving around, not even looking up. And I've had a lot of weird experiences, and I've seen that 3 times. Sent pictures to Brian. I still have the pictures at work. I keep them on my computer at work because my phone only has so much space on it. Brian, freaked out. I was like, Brian, do you see that? He goes, yeah, he zoomed in on it. I said, this is not Photoshopped. I have another picture that I took about a month ago. I was coming home from work, looking up at the sky. Part of the clouds that was like a black and white spotted cloud was at the bottom of the sky, like the bottom. There was a huge line horizontally cutting half of it off. Like, in other words, say you took an eraser and you erased half of it. You could clearly see a horizontal line cutting half of the sky off.
Wow.
In the sky. Ryan has that picture. Anytime I see anything bizarre in the sky, I take pictures to document it. I keep all my documentation together. Like I said, on my computer at work, because, like I said, more storage. And Brian and I just freak out. I've seen too much to explain. And all this has happened within the last year after the Mandela effect. And yes, I can't walk away from it. I literally go anywhere, and I see it. It's like I'm so awake. Like Joyce Myers to me is now Joyce Meyer. That was a recent one for me.
Yeah.
My book, I tripped over my book in my living room. It was like a magazine. I looked down and it said Joyce Meyer. I remember Joyce Myers. John Edwards, I tripped over a couple months back when we were going to do a live show. Now it's John Edward. And it's like it wants to find me.
Wait, John Edwards is now John Edward?
Yes. Yes. Look it up. If you want to look it up right now, you're going to freak out. John Edwards is now John Edward. Joyce Myers is Joyce Meyer.
Yeah.
I find these things, and Brian's like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I think because, I don't know if you believe, but I'm an empath. I'm empathic, which I found out a few years ago, not knowing that it was going to get stronger. And I don't know if you know about the other recent change. You heard about the hand changing, right?
What's that?
The hand.
What do you mean? No, I haven't.
Your hand. Look at your hand.
Yes.
Look where your thumb is located at now. It's down near the wrist. Look how much space you have between your finger, your pointer finger, and your thumb. Look at all the space you have. You can take your thumb now and touch the bottom of your pinky. If you take your thumb and bend it over, you can now do that. I could not do that before. Never. Take your thumb and stretch it over to reach your pinky finger. You're going to be shocked.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. You see it?
Yeah.
Our hands are messed up. Our hands are now really longer now. Like I said, the thumb and the pointer finger is now longer. The thumb is further down on the wrist. I don't know what they're doing to our bodies. We're getting upgrades, and they're coming slowly, but it's noticeable enough where you can see it. You know what I mean? Like, I know the back of her head looks like Worf now from Star Trek. No pun intended. And I even spoke to my hairstylist a few months ago, and I asked her about that, and I said, do you remember the back of the head looking like this? And she's kind of Mandela affected. She went to school to cut hair. She's a hairstylist. She's been cutting hair probably 10, 15 years.
Right.
She said that back of the head wasn't like that. I went to school to learn the skull to cut hair. I would love to get her on the air and let her talk about that.
Oh,
she
absolutely.
said, no, the back of the skull did not look like that. Did you want to, I'm sorry, I'm just talking your head off. Did you want to ask me about residue hunting, how I do it?
Yeah, go right ahead. Tell us. We're really interested.
Okay. The way that I find residue is you have to kind of trick the computer. The way that you do it is when you look something up, you use quotation marks. For example, you put quotation, Jiffy peanut butter, quotation marks. You force the computer to look it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
That's one of the things that I do. Another secret that I do is I put in the word vintage. Before I look something up, sometimes I'll put like, okay, vintage Jiffy peanut butter. A couple months back, I found an amazing one that Brian was shocked. Did you know the owner and the person who invented originally the Jiffy peanut butter used to raise horses for like racing horses? He named one of his horses Jiffy peanut butter. I found that residue.
Wow. Now, why would he
named his horse? Yes.
Why would he name his horse Jiffy if it's called Jiff? You know?
There you go. That's what sealed. That's what I told Brian. I said, why would he name his horse Jiffy peanut butter? And then it turned into Jiff.
You know, it's like one of my videos got hit by the Mandela effect. And I did a video a couple years ago on Looney Tunes, you know, and how it's TUNES now, and it used to be TOONS, Looney Tunes. And I connected it to Tiny Toons, because Tiny Toons is tiny, TOONS. Now, why would Tiny Toons be OONS when Looney Tunes is UNES? You know, but I did this video on this, and it was like 6 months after I did the video, somebody on Facebook got a hold of me and said, hey, brother, did you know that your video has changed? And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, go watch your video. So I went back and I watched it, because it's not that long. It's like 10 minutes long, you know what I mean? And it's not the visuals that I was showing. It's what I was saying. I was speaking to the camera, with me looking in the camera, and the words that I was saying, that all changed. And I went, I know that was wrong, because I recorded it, and it took me 5 different times to get it right. And I know what I said. And what's on YouTube now is not what I said. So I checked on my computer.
And you know what? That might be another version of you, because Brian said that to me. He'll go back and be like, did I say that in that video? And I'm like, maybe it's another version of you. So I think we shift. I mean, there's times I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have so much energy, and I'm like, I'm normally really tired and worn out, and I don't want to do anything. I think we have different versions of ourselves that we're shifting into. Does that make sense?
I tend to stick, personally, I tend to stick to prophecy and last days. And I have a theory on this that I've been following here, especially recently. I even did a video on this, and it has to do with particle entanglement and what they're doing, and not only with CERN, but there's several LHCs around the world, not just CERN. CERN's the big one.
Can I ask what religion you are? I was raised Catholic.
I was raised Protestant, but I fell away from the faith, and I was away from it for a very long time. And then I got into the bands and into the music, which led to into occultic activities and getting into, you know, all the dark roads. And I went down some really, really bad paths, you know, but God kept me alive because he had a purpose for me.
Have you had Meeks on your show before?
Have I had what?
Meeks?
No.
Meeks. Do you know she had a video on yesterday? I think it was yesterday or last night in the middle of the morning. Do you know residue is now in the Bible 42 times?
No, I didn't. I hadn't come across that one.
Yes, residue is now in the Bible 42 times. And I told Brian this morning, I said, Brian, you need to look at your Bible. He's like, what? I said, look at Meeks' new video. I said, residue was not in the Bible.
No, it wasn't.
There's all these words that's popping up in the Bible, especially the new, what are they called? The new, I can't remember the name. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And there's words that are appearing that doesn't make no sense. And some of it is, it's like somebody's trying to rewrite the Bible. And I don't know if you see that.
Oh, absolutely. I thoroughly stand behind that. That's that's directed there. I mean, that's what I'm saying is the Mandela effect is a side effect of what they're actually trying to do, but they can literally control what happens in the side effect, and I do believe they're intentionally changing the Bible. Now, let me throw at you what I was talking about. Um,
Okay.
Particle entanglement. Okay, everything in our world, our reality, your car, your desk, your TV, even you, everything is made up of subatomic particles. Now, what they're doing in these LHCs is they're smashing particles together and disintegrating them. Okay, they're blowing them apart so that they can see what the particle itself is made of. They're looking for the gluons, the muons, the Higgs bosons, and all these other exotic things. And they have purpose and meaning as to why they're doing this. But here's the deal.
Wow.
When you and I understand because I got a science background. When you get into particle theory and you get into quantum physics and you get into string theory, it is explained that one particle is not entangled with another particle. One particle can be entangled with billions and trillions of other particles. And what you do to one particle, whatever particle is entangled to that one particle, that happens to that other particle that's entangled to it. So if you disintegrate this particle, you just disintegrated a billion, a trillion other subatomic particles in the subatomic world. Now, when they crash these beams together, they're crashing together literally millions of particles at one time, which means you got to take millions of particles and then you got to times it by billions or trillions of particles to give you the number of how many particles in the subatomic world are being disintegrated at one time. Now, if our real world is made up of subatomic particles and you are constantly reducing the number of particles that are in the subatomic world, you absolutely, positively have to have a real world effect in the macro world, the world we live in, because you're reducing the number of particles. And then how those particles that are left over re-entangle with one another changes our reality.
Wow.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So you don't think this has nothing to do with CERN? You don't think it has anything to do with time traveling or anything like that? Because everybody's got these theories of, oh, we died in 2012 and our bodies, our consciousness were transferred to other bodies in another reality. Do you really think that we're still on the same Earth? That was one of my questions. Are we still on our same Earth? Are we on a different Earth?
See, I believe
what do you think about that?
I believe it's the same Earth, but I think it's being altered because of the number of particles that are being reduced. That's having an effect on our real world. It's like if you could bake a cake, and you got a cake that's baked, and now you have the ability, some type of technology that was given to you, that you could beam into that cake and reduce some of the ingredients in that cake, just take it out. What you have left over is a different cake. You understand what I'm saying? Because you've taken ingredients in that cake, you beamed them out like on Star Trek, you know? You've beamed out that ingredient out of it, so that cake no longer has that ingredient, so now it's a different creation. And that's the same way I see it with the subatomic world.
And how is it going so far back? Some of these changes, like the John F. Kennedy car, like I remember before. I mean, and I'm going to tell you my age because you're probably not going to believe me, but I'm going to tell you. I was born 11/12/63. I was born 2 weeks before the John F. Kennedy assassination, and I remember seeing 4 people in the car. I don't ever remember John Connally and his wife. I remember 2 of the people. You know,
right.
The driver,
Me too.
the bodyguard. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is, how can everything be going back as far as, you know, the 60s? No, I don't know if anything goes back beyond that.
I have a theory. I have a theory on that also, and this may actually make sense to you. What happened when Kennedy got killed? That history did not change. That really happened. That's exactly how it happened. But everything in our present world that indicates that happened, everything in the present world has changed, including people's memories. So therefore, nothing in the past has actually changed, But everything in the present that looks back to that history has changed. So therefore, we see now a video with 6 people in the car because the video in our present world has been changed. But the history actually hasn't. And those of us that are awake, we're actually remembering the true history. And those that aren't,
Yes.
they've been upgraded to what is presently being changed in our present world right now. So they see it as being...
So why is a majority of us awake? What do we have that's going for us, which I was trying to explain to Brian earlier? Why are we considered like the chosen ones? Or, I mean, do we a resistance to the change? Or what is it that we all have in common that we can see the changes and say, hey, that's wrong? What is it that we have? I mean, what do you think about that? Like,
I tend to lean towards those of us that are awake have been selected by God to be protected from these changes. That even includes those that are not saved, those that are New Agers. God's even selected them for them to be protected for whatever reason and purpose. I'm not going to try to explain God's thinking because me trying to explain God's thinking and how he thinks and what he does is sort of like the ant that's crawling across the floor that's going to explain how I think and act. You know what I mean? Can't do it.
So we're like chosen. We're chosen.
Yes, I do believe that.
So we should feel, I'm not going to be, I feel special though that I was chosen for this. I mean, being awake is awesome. I mean, sure, I'm not the same person no more. I don't know if people awake now are just still the same person. I had a whole different personality when I was asleep, but now when I'm awake, I'm completely different. I'm also closer to God. I'm more religious now.
Yeah, everyone that's awake, and I use this, and some people say it's semantics, but it helps me in my own mind. Those that have been changed that don't see any of the changes, I see that they have been effected, with an E, affected, because they've been changed. They don't see it. Now, those of us that are seeing the changes, we've been affected with an A, AFF. We're affected by it, which absolutely has to have a change in your personality. Every single one of us is different now because of this. And a lot of people have gotten a lot closer to God because of it.
Yes, and that's a good thing. A lot of times people say Mandela effect made it worse for them, but I believe the majority of people are better off being affected. I mean, I can see things so much clearer now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a very good thing. It's a very, very good thing. And it's brought me closer to another group of people, which you know what I'm saying, when I'm on the show and everything. It's brought me more friends. It's brought me more empathy towards other people, and it's a great thing being awake. And I mean, I wish more people would wake up. And another thing that I do when I can, which I try to wake people up, but I do it kind of weird, because everybody's got a different approach. First, I ask the person, hey, do you believe, this is going to sound weird, I ask them if they believe in science fiction. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, do you want to go down the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
And they look at me, and I'm like, you want to wake up? And they're like, okay. They either say okay or no. And then I start asking them the main questions about Febreze, Monopoly Man, the basic big ones. And they're shocked when I tell them that it's changed. And they're like, they're on their phone looking, let me look. And the first thing they do is they have their cell phone and they're looking. And they're like in shock. And once they wake up, they're not going to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Once you see it, you can't ignore it.
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody put a post on Facebook. It was a couple weeks ago, and I was just laughing because it made sense. It was put in a Mandela effect group, and it's a picture of Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and she's talking to the rabbit, and she asks the rabbit, "How far down does the rabbit hole go?" And the rabbit answers, "Don't know. I haven't found the bottom yet."
Oh, wow. That's what I feel like. I feel like Alice in Wonderland. That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
I know it's a weird...
when it comes to people that say, that there are those that they're traveling back in time and this is how things are changing, my first response to them is this. Okay, that's your theory. Now I want you to explain to me how they went back in time and moved the continent of South America 2,000 miles east.
Yes.
I don't care how far back in time you travel, you're not going to move a continent, you know?
I want to know how that's happening when they're the states and they even said Italy is now not shaped like a boot no more. Is that true?
What was that?
Italy, they said, is not shaped like a boot no more. They said it's different.
Oh,
Italy
has that shape of the boot, but the problem is Sicily has moved 300 miles north and is increased in size by probably tenfold. And now it's not away from Italy. You can literally see Sicily from Italy. You can take a boat and drive over there. And it's like almost the size of the bottom part of the boot now. It's almost like a continent unto itself. It's so big.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, Mandela effect is affecting everything, not just logos and fonts, and it's pretty much. And now me and Brian, we joke around a lot. I'm like, Brian, I found another RA connected together. I don't know if you guys ever noticed the RAs, but we noticed that a lot. The raw.
Yeah. You know, it's like.
Brian and I are more into the logos and, you know, the movies and stuff like that. He doesn't really do very much geography, but he does do some of the Bible changes, you know, when he talks to me. But him and I do most of the logos, and we even do live calls. I don't know if you ever caught the one we did on Fruit Loops a while back. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. I'll have to take a peek.
You got to check that one out. We called it donut. Okay, I live in Las Vegas, like I told you. There's a couple donut stores called, they're called Voodoo Donuts. You can also look it up. There's one in California, Universal Studios, and I think there's another one in Oregon, and there might be one somewhere else. So Brian and I is like, hey, let's do a cold call. And I'm like, okay. We call the store called Voodoo Donuts. They happen to sell donuts with, you ready? Fruit Loops on the donuts. We get on the phone. You're gonna have to. I wish you could. It's in his group with his videos. I say, hey, I heard you sell, you know, donuts with Fruit Loops on, and the lady goes, yeah. I said, are these the same Fruit Loops that are on the shelf, like at Walmart and, you know, different grocery stores? And I said, are those the FRUITLOOPS? She's like, yeah. And I said, the cereal? She's like, yeah. And I said, oh my God. And I'm getting like real excited. Brian's like trying to keep from laughing.
Uh-huh.
And I said, and I literally spelled it back to her like 3 or 4 times. And Brian and I are like, does she like realize that it's not spelled Fruit Loops like that no more? We didn't want to wake her up because in her mind, it's spelled Fruit Loops.
Right.
And we have the video on his, you know, if you go into the Brian McFarland, we have the live video. He has it somewhere in there that she literally, and she's a manager there, it said, I said FRUITLOOPS, and she agreed every time I spelled it to her. And we like to do a lot of live videos because if the person is not, they're thinking that's the way it's spelled.
Right.
And even on the menu, if you look at their menu under Voodoo Donuts, it's even spelled Fruit Loops. It even spells it.
Really?
In the correct way. Yeah. Look it up. It's like Awesome Residue. And Brian was like shocked, and he started laughing at me at the end of the video. It was like so funny after she hung up. We love doing that. And I did one for Chuck E. Cheese. I walked into a Chuck E. Cheese a few months ago, and I didn't tell him I was recording, and I walked in there and I said, hey, what's the name of this place? And he goes, Chuck E. Cheese? And I'm like, are you sure? No, wait. Yeah, he said Chuck E. Cheese, and I said, are you sure? And he goes, yeah, I work here. I said, okay, come on outside a minute. So he walked outside, and I said, look at your sign. And he looked at me, and I said, look what it says. It says Chuck E. Cheese's. And he looked, and he goes, I said, I thought you just said Chuck E. Cheese. And he goes, I did. He goes, they must have changed it. I said, how long you been working here? Like 7, 8, 9 years. And I'm like, it's always been Chuck E. Cheese. So I pull out my phone, I show him the residue, and he's like scratching his head. He didn't have nothing else to say to me. He just kind of turned around and shook his head. We love doing cold calls because you get people. And another one that changed. I don't know if you remember. Remember the movie called Meet the Millers? Do you remember this movie?
Hey.
Where the group, it's like a family that they're not really a family. It was like Jennifer Aniston, and they have to smuggle drugs over to Mexico. Do you remember that movie? Meet the
Yeah, I
Millers?
remember that movie.
Do you know what changed?
What?
Look it up now. It changed to We're the Millers. I never existed. Meet the Millers never existed. Never.
Really?
Seriously. Oh, yeah. I found that one, and Brian was like freaking out. I called the library because I rent a lot of movies from the library because I like watching DVDs. I asked the lady, I said, where's, I want to watch Meet the Millers, and see, I had already watched it months before. I've already watched it, and I know it was Meet the Millers. So I called and I said, hey, I'd like to request this movie for you to hold for me. And she looked it up. She goes, I can't find it. I said, are you sure? She's like, I know it's Meet the Millers. And I said, well, do a search under Millers. So Where the Millers comes up, and the poor lady at the library is like, that's not the name of it. And I said, I know. And she goes, when did they change it? And I said, I can't answer that. And she just freaked out. And I said, okay, never mind then. Have a nice day. Yeah, it changed to Where the Millers. That's a huge Mandela.
Absolutely.
Freaky, huh?
Yeah, big time. All right, I just
We
brought
find
this.
them all the time.
I just brought this up. Yeah, let me see if I can get to it. Here we go. Into the live stream, I just brought up Voodoo Donuts for everybody to look at. And I'm looking at the donut right now, and it's got the Fruit Loops on it. And let me scroll up so everyone can see that. It says Voodoo Donuts, and it says Our Donuts. And when you scroll down, you get to, the donut is called The Loop. And it says raised yeast donut with vanilla frosting and fruit, Fruit loops.
There you go. I found that one.
There you
That's my
go.
residue.
So everybody can see that. That's right there. Can you all see that?
That's what they call me, the residue hunter, sir.
There you go. Absolutely. Wow, that was
Isn't that
awesome. Absolutely. And let me turn that
And if they
off.
want to find the video, tell them to go to the Brian McFarlane. You just have to Google his name and then go into his videos. Just like he's got like 900 and some videos.
Yeah.
But I'm in there somewhere. Somewhere if you look, you'll see like Fruit Loops live call or something like that.
Yeah.
I love hunting for residue. It's like my it's what I'm supposed to do. It's what I was blessed to do, and I do it because if there was no such thing as residue, then that means it never existed, right?
Right.
And think about it. And just like Oscar Mayer, I freaked out a lady about a couple months ago. She's one of those, the people that stand there and they give out food and crackers and different things, and they stand there. Like, here, try this, have some cute ones. I took her around the store showing her all the things that were wrong. I'm like, look at Oscar Mayer. And she's like, what? And then I took her over to Fruit Loops. I took her around the store just giving her a tour of all the things that were wrong. And she's got her camera out taking pictures. I said, do you agree with me? She's like, yeah. Another one that freaked me out, I found proof of it. Marshmallows is now marshmallows.
Mallows, yeah, I know.
That's a huge one, and I found residue for Brian. And the thing is, if I'm ever given a challenge to find something, you better believe it, I'm going to find it. I am going to find it no matter what. And Brian sometimes will give me something really hard to find, and I'll say, Brian, sometimes I'll find it right away, and other times it'll take me longer to find. And sometimes there's not much residue on things. But usually if you look hard enough, and I use my different investigation skills like I was telling you,
Yeah.
I will find it. From one way or another, if I stay up all night, I will find it. Because I know that that's the right thing to do. We have to remember our old ways. Because they're gonna try to change us so that we don't remember. and it's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And I'm sure, I don't know, you've seen a lot of my residue that I found, right?
Yes.
Bob? Yeah.
Oh, these
And I know
cats
I
are.
probably got competition out there, other people who look for residue, which I would love to talk to other residue hunters. I mean, if they want to come on the show, on Brian's show, I would love to compare notes. That would be fun. I would love to meet another residue hunter and talk about things.
Yeah, I did a
Things that I'm not alive.
I did a video. I think it was about a year and a half ago, and all these different products and TV shows and movies that have changed. And what I did was using my software. I showed the original of what it was, and then you would see it meld into what it is now. So you could literally see what it was and how it used to be, and then it would blend itself into what it is now, so you can actually literally see the change, and so it would occur right in front of your face to try to wake some people up, you know?
Like morphing, right? Like
Yes, morphing. That was the word I was looking for.
It happened to me. I had a box of cookies that I bought at Walmart, and I told Brian about this. I was looking at them on the shelf, and they're like what they call wedding cookies or Mexican nut cookies. And I took them home, and I'm looking at the box. I'm like, okay, good, no merging. I took them home, put them up on the shelf, and about 15 minutes, I was like, oh, I want to eat them. I took the box down, and the letters started merging in front of me in real time. Like in real time. I'm not talking about on the computer. I'm talking about a box in my hand merging.
All right, you know the YouTuber Jacob Israel?
Yes. I've seen some of his videos.
He did a video a while back, and it was on the movie Apollo 13, where the line had changed. It went to Houston, we've had a problem, right? And he had all these people attacking him about how it's always said had. It's always said had. And he even did a second video said, no, it used to say Houston, we have a problem. And now it says Houston, we had a problem. And he had all these people attacking him. And then it was like,
it's had, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it Houston, we have a problem?
And now this is what he recently did a video and showed it. And he said, for all of you that attacked me, he said, because you all swore up and down that it always said we had a problem. And then he played the clip because it's changed back. Now it says, it's back to saying, Houston, we have a problem. And he said, for all you people, he goes, for all you people that attacked me, I want you to watch this because this is what the movie says now. And now it's back to Houston, we have a problem. And he goes, so all of you that said that it always said had, explain this. And not a single one of them made a comment back.
Wow.
You know?
Have you had any logos change, like flip-flop on you? Go back and like Flintstones, Tidy Cats.
That's the one that got me that was changing back and forth because that's what I buy for kitty litter. I buy the Tidy Cats in the container that's clumping.
Yes.
And then I go and it's Tidy Cat, and then it's Tidy Cats, and then it's Tidy Cat, and it's like, you know, I wish they'd make up their mind, you know?
I love it when it flip-flops. It's fun. Wow.
I don't.
And you know what? I think Flintstones did that too. What do you remember? Flintstones or Flintstones?
Flintstones.
Flint with the teeth?
Yes, and it's because everything in that whole cartoon, everything was like, you know, the Rubbles, you know, and everybody was, you know, Mr. Slate. Everybody was named after some type of a rock. So the Flintstones were named after Flint. Now it's Flynn.
That's
the T's gone.
The T, yeah. Wow.
You know, you had Barney Rubble, Betty Rubble. You had Fred Flint Stones. You had Mr. Slate, you know. They went to Rock Vegas, you know. I mean, everything was named after rocks because it was the Stone Age, you know. That was the big... So why would the Flintstones not have a T in it, you know? But...
Wait, I have a question. I think I'm having deja vu here. Did you do a radio show with Brian?
I don't remember. I don't think so. Wait a second.
I don't know why.
I did a radio show with someone a couple years back, and I was explaining the quantum effect. I don't
know
remember.
why, but your name, Brian went to do a conference a couple months ago. I don't know if you remember that. He did like a conference.
No, I wasn't in a conference a couple months ago.
You weren't in a conference?
No.
I don't know why. I'm having like this deja vu. It's like freaking me out. Like you did a call with him or something or a show. I don't think you did though.
No, the only call-in I ever did was about 2 years ago, and it was for a radio blog, and they wanted me to explain my research into the quantum effect and how the LHCs could be part of this, you know. And I was onto something then, and it's still in the direction of where I'm going right now, but I'm seeing it more clearly because, like I said, if you have all the ingredients to make something, and then you remove half the ingredients, what you're going to make with the leftover ingredients is something different than what was originally made. And that would explain everything that's literally happening to us right now, so that the past hasn't actually been rewritten, but everything in the present that has to do with looking back at the past has, including people's memories. So when you see a video on
Can I ask how long you've been awake for?
Since wow, early 2015. It was like in June or July.
Do you
And
think we go through waves of people waking up?
yes,
Like
that
there's
absolutely.
like a wave of people wake up and then it stops and then more people wake up.
I
Do you think
noticed.
that's what's happening?
Yes, and I noticed that a large percentage of people that are awake, when you ask them, because I got a group on Facebook called the Quantum Effect Concerning the Scriptures, and we had and this is a trip. We had 1,500 members in the group, and the next day I went as the admin and I looked, and we were down to 900. In one day, 600 people disappeared. I wondered if Facebook removed them, you know. But I don't know, if 600 people just disappeared off of our group in one day. That just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? But
I don't want to
yeah,
talk about politics, but I'm going to say something really stupid. You mind if I say something stupid?
go right ahead.
Is that okay?
Absolutely.
This is going to sound really off the wall. I'm probably going to get a lot of bad comments on it. Do you think Donald Trump is the Mandela effect? Seriously. I know that came out wrong. Sorry.
No, I understand what you're saying. I don't know. But I honestly believe if he's anything, he wasn't elected, he was selected. He was chosen. And all the numbers that you see on TV when they were showing all the people and how they were, all those were made up numbers for you to believe that your vote counted. I believe they've been doing that for...
I didn't vote at all for the election, so that's my bad.
No, I didn't vote either because I looked at both choices and I went, neither one is who I want. What's the point? You
I
know?
didn't want either one. No. I didn't want either one. And it's weird, now they're saying Oprah wants to run for president in 2020. Is that true?
It's looking like that, but I don't even know if the United States is going to be here in 2020, you know? But yeah. So,
do you think we're in tribulation right now?
I absolutely 100% do. I've done all, because I mean, I got a video on my channel and it's called My Story, and it's got a shocked looking smiley face, you know, because my story is shocking. Most people, 99% of the people out there did not walk the road that I walked, you know, or I wouldn't say that high, but it's really high, like 95%. But I was locked up in prison for a few years, and when you first go in, you go into what's called classification, and you're locked up 22 hours a day in a 6 by 8 by 10 foot cell, and you do have nothing to do. And my mom sent me a King James Bible, and she sent me a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance and a couple of aid books onto original Greek and original Hebrew. And all I would do every day for 11 months was I would go through the Bible line by line, verse by verse, even word by word. I would study it, and then I would write in these notebooks everything that I got out of it. And I would be in the Strong's Concordance, I would be in the original Hebrew. And then when I got done, I would rip it out of the notebook and I'd mail it off to my mother every day. So I got extremely, and this is in the 80s, and I got extremely versed in what the Bible said. That's why when I open the Bible and read it, I see the changes like snap of a finger. I mean, I go, no, that's wrong. I know that's wrong. You know. So
you're kind of like Meeks that sees it, right? Like Meeks, she sees it too.
What's that?
Meeks also sees the changes in the Bible. That's like her Mandela specialties. I never hear her talk about like logos and stuff like that. She just talks about the Bible.
Yes.
Meeks does.
Yes. So that's why I created that group, the Quantum Effect Concerning the Scriptures. And I know this for having been involved in this since mid 2015. I've noticed, and I've kind of caught eye on this. The largest percentage of people, when you ask, when did you come awake? The big percentage of them say, oh, 2016.
Yes.
A lot of people seemed to be the year that they were awoken to all this. Mine happened because I was in the store and I was like, wow, when did they change that? And then when I looked online, I was like, yeah, it was accidental, but it was, yeah, it was in real life. It wasn't like I saw something on the internet. I mean, I literally saw this, and it had to do with Febreze. I went, where's the other E? And I went, when did they change that? You know, come to find out, they never did. It's always been one E.
What was it again?
Febreze. The air freshener Febreze.
Oh, the Febreze, yes.
That was the first one.
The other E at? Febreze.
Yeah, and then I ran into another one at the grocery store. And then I started running. I was on eBay and I was looking for something, and I ran across another one. And I went, what is going on here? And I was doing the research, and I'm going, no, am I going nuts? I mean, I specifically remember it being this way, and they're telling me it's always been that way. And then one day, I ran into a video from Photo Helix, and I went, I'm not the only one seeing this. So this tells me I'm not nuts. That's when I started to do the investigations and found out there was a whole lot more people out there that were seeing the same things I was, you know?
And you know what? It helps that we have our community and our support system, because I don't know what I would do if I didn't have everybody to support me with this, because this is something hard to go. When you first wake up, you feel alone in this, because people are going to think you're crazy trying to tell somebody what you're seeing. And this is, I told Brian, I said, this is the only, you guys keep me stable, because I would go nuts. I have no way to explain it to anybody, because they would look at you like, what's this going on? You know what I mean? And I pretty much accepted it now. When I see new changes, I'm like, okay, here we go again. Not freaking out, like, Brian, like I normally do. But it's hard. I mean, do you ever give advice to new people who are just now waking up? I mean, what kind of advice can we give newcomers? Because we've been there. We've experienced what they're going through.
Now,
we should have like a support group for like new people. You know what I mean?
Like Photo Helix, I'm very faith-based. You know what I mean? And when I speak to the new people, they literally are. They come to this group right here, this live stream, and they're like freaking out, And I keep telling them that God has chosen you to open your eyes for reason and purpose, and know that we're in the last days. And when you see these changes, rather than be worried, just look up and keep your eyes focused on your King, And everybody in this group, that comes to this live stream, they come, and whoever comes in and they're freaking out about this, everyone speaks to them and comforts them and kind of leads them to calm them down, and lets them know they're among friends right now that believe this and see the same
Yeah.
things that they do, you know?
That's the best advice that I've heard. What you just said about we need to ground them so that they're not freaking out. That they need support and love and like, okay, we're going to help you get through these. Because like I said, there's different stages. Did you go through the stages? The different stages? When you woke up?
With me, it was like at first I was like, you know, I was questioning my own sanity. I'm going, I remember this different. Why am I remembering it different? I couldn't understand. And I thought there was, you know, even my family was like, you know, there's something wrong with you, man. It's never been that way. Why are you even saying this? And then when I ran into Photo, when I saw that there's someone else seeing and the exact same things as I was seeing in Scripture, you know, and it put me at ease. I was like, now I know this is real because there's someone else that's seeing the exact same things as I am. And once I started.
That's exactly how I felt. I was questioning my sanity. I'm like, am I going nuts? I mean, I'm 57 years old. I've never went through anything like this before my whole life. But I'm like, why now I'm in my 50s and I experienced in this, I keep calling it paranormal. For me, that's the only way I can explain this is paranormal. And why am I going through this? And why is this happening? I mean, I still want to figure out why is this happening? And I keep coming up with all these different theories. You know, like you were telling me, the quantum thing. And do you think the truth will ever come out? Why it's really happening? Or are we just going to be experiencing the Mandela effect day after day after day and seeing no ending? I mean, will we eventually get an answer?
Yes, we will. We absolutely will. I honestly believe, and I've got videos on this. I mean, with all the research that I've done, you know, into end times prophecy and throughout the Old Testament, into the New Testament, Ezekiel, Zechariah, Daniel, Micah, I mean, all of it. And everything that I've done, even into the book of Enoch, where it speaks about there will be 70 generations to the end, and until the fallen angels, the Watchers, will be released unto the world, which the 70th generation hit when the technology explosion occurred around the world, and that was in the early 1900s. But I've done all the math. The 120 the 120 years that God says that He will, you know, deal with man. The 70, the 50, the 50-year jubilee of the taking of Jerusalem. 70 years from the creation of Israel. And I go through all of these numbers and everything, and I go up to the eclipse that happened on August 21st. And the sign of Jonah, and people are going, oh, that's 3 days in the belly of the whale. No. If you literally could go into a time machine and go back to the days that Christ walked around, and you asked all of the rabbis and all the Jews in those days, what was the sign of Jonah? Every one of them would have said to you, oh, that's the eclipse that happened over Nineveh that changed everybody's hearts. Now, Jonah showed up to Nineveh and he said, you have 40 days to repent, and if you don't, God will destroy you. And the 40th day landed on the Day of Atonement, and the whole city had repented, so God didn't destroy it, which really pissed Jonah off. He was mad. He wanted those people dead because he hated them. He's the weirdest prophet in the world because the people that he was preaching to, he literally hated, you know. But it was 40 days from the day that he announced to them, you have 40 days to repent, and that landed on the Day of Atonement. Our eclipse that across the United States, 40 days after that, actually 33 days after that, was the Revelation 12 sign, and 40 days after that eclipse was Day of Atonement once again. And I honestly believe September 30th of 2017 was the beginning of tribulation. And here's the deal. Will we ever find out what's happening and causing this? Yes, because tribulation ends, Christ comes back and makes all things right, and we will be made aware of everything that's happened. So we'll know. But it's not going to be now, but it will be coming soon.
No. Do you think these, Brian and I were talking, you know, we talk a lot about the Mandela effect. Do you think they'll get there'll be more.
Oh,
guys, or do you think it'll like level out? Like some days we won't find
I'm
any,
absolutely
some days-
certain. I think the reason why we're continuing to see small Mandela effects happen here and there is because the other LHCs around the world are still running and still crashing particles together. But this March, CERN is supposed to start back up at their highest level ever
Oh no.
and crashing millions upon millions more particles than they ever did before at higher velocities. So what I'm figuring is come
Which day in
March.
March is that supposed to be? Do you know? Which day in March?
I have to look it up. I know the date. I'm just brain farting on it, but I know it's in the beginning of March.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna tell you what. I'll bet bottom dollar says that after they do that, you're gonna start seeing big changes again. I'm certain of that.
So we're probably going to be increasing with more Mandela effects then, probably in around March.
I'm expecting. I'm seeing changes that are still occurring, small ones here and there, but I'm expecting sometime in March, maybe towards the end of March, we're going to see big changes, and all of a sudden you're going to see YouTube filled with all these videos about all these big changes and how they've changed now. I'm almost certain of that. Candied Cupcake says,
I think the only way that we're going to wake people up, because if you know a lot of these changes that we've had, in the past, have been like subtle changes. I think in order to wake somebody up, it's going to have to be a huge Mandela where they're not going to be able to ignore it. It's got to be right in their face. Does that make sense?
yes, but at the same time,
I think that's the only way we're going to wake somebody up, is if it's huge enough where they cannot deny it.
but like we talked earlier, there are those that are just so locked into the system, so hooked into it, so asleep that when this change happens, they're going to get a mental update and it's going to go, oh, it's always been that way.
Oh my God!
We're going to.
My car is black. The next day I came out and now it's purple.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I tease my Mandela friend / boss. He's my friend and my boss. And I teased him one day because he said he does not believe in any of this. I said, I'll tell you what, you got a black car, right? And he's like, yeah. I said, you pick me up every morning. And he goes, yeah. I said, okay, one morning you wake up and you go outside and your car is now red. How are you going to explain that to me? And he just started getting mad at me.
Yeah.
Explain that to me. He didn't say anything. He just kind of shook it off. And you know what's funny? I've actually caught him saying things from the old ways. Like he remembers the Monopoly Man with the monocle.
Yes.
And he said I caught him a few times saying things the old way. Like I heard him one day when he walked out to go get the mail downstairs, and he goes, "I'll be back." And that's changed. I don't know if you know that.
What?
That's another one that Brian did. He doesn't say that no more. Remember in the movie The Terminator, he says, "I'll be back."
Yeah.
With the accent.
Yeah.
No more.
What's he say now?
He says, "I'll be back. I'll be back." Listen to it.
He has that heavy accent, and he goes, "I'll be back."
It's gone. It's gone. Play it now.
Wow.
Yeah. You remember I'll be back?
Yeah.
Ryan and I had found residue. Serious residue. For that. And now he says, "I'll be back." Another movie we found the other day was, what's his name? You remember how they had the Mandela about the Jackson 5 and now they have Randy, who's supposedly supposed to be the youngest child?
Yeah, now it's like, why didn't you call yourself the Jackson 6?
I found huge residue on that. You remember the guy, oh God, what is his name? It's going to drive me crazy. The Jello Pudding Man?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the guy that,
There's a video where he says, "Who are you again?" I don't remember you. I found huge residue of him interviewing Randy, and this is years ago. Like, I don't know who you are. He literally said that.
Wow.
I found residue for that, yes. Look, if you can bring up Brian's videos, I don't know if you're able to do that. Look for the one that talks about the residue for the Bill Cosby one. He literally did not know who Randy Jackson was. And I said, bam, there you go, Brian. And this is years ago when they were young. He didn't know who he was. He goes, what do you do again? And he literally says it.
Yeah.
That was awesome residue I found for him.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Tomorrow I'll go over to his channel. I'll take a look at a few of them and I'll set it up so that we can watch them in the live stream.
A lot of the residue that I find for Brian.
Yeah.
And I'll either get credit for it or somebody else that found it, and then I'll be like, hey, Brian, look. But a lot of times I'll find, really good residue. Like in Glee, they actually sang the end of the song, we are the champions of the world.
Right.
But here's the trick. They actually do say it, but it's only in the live version of We Are the Champions. I found that out.
Yes.
But they do say it, but only in the live version.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that.
In a way, that wasn't really a Mandela effect.
I've seen that, but the reason why I know that that's changed is because this is when I was a teenager. I'm aging myself. When the album first came out, I bought the album for my sister for Christmas, and but I opened it up and I was playing that song over and over and over and over and over and over and over until my mom found out what I did and told me I had to go buy a new album because I couldn't give her that one. I said I was just checking it for skips, So yeah, I knew that song inside and out, and when that disappeared, I went, yeah. And I told Photo, I said, I know why they took that out. And he said, why? I said, because they're saying we are the champions of the world. But the Antichrist is claiming he's the champion of the world, so no one else is allowed to say that.
But there is residue for that on what do you call it, Glee, where they actually say it at the end. If you go to Glee and Google Glee, We Are the Champions, you'll hear it at the end. I found that residue.
There you go.
That's one of mine. I find residue in the weirdest places, like seriously. I mean, and Brian's like, how do you find this? I'm like, my destiny? It's what I'm supposed to do, is find it? Yeah.
Hey, very much so. That may be what God has chosen you to do. That's what your mission in this world is. He's led.
It's my path. My path.
Yeah, he's led me to do this.
You didn't think I would be calling tonight, did you?
No, I'm glad you did. And normally I try to break the live stream up to 1 hour segments. You know what I mean? So that anybody that wants.
I'm sorry, I didn't even.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Let me finish what I was saying. I would break it up into 1 hour segments so that anybody that comes to the channel after the live stream is over, they could actually go through and pick whatever one they want to watch. They don't have to watch 1 5 or 6 hour long live stream. But this has been such a great conversation. I'm like, we're going to let this go. So we're running up on 2 hours now.
I didn't know if he had heard of me or not, because I know a lot of people in the Mandela Effect family knows me, because I've gone on Scared Show for the first time last week.
Yeah.
You weren't there, were you?
Last week? Yeah, I was. I run this
Were you
live.
there when I was there?
Yes, and I heard you speak, and you were talking about how you find these and everything in the quotation marks.
That's where I know you from.
Yeah.
You were there with Party Puppy there, or Salted Cedar.
Salted Cedar was there. Party Puppy was there. A lot of people, virtually everybody that comes to this live stream is over at Scarabs on Saturday night. So I run this one. I come live at 9:45. I start the pre-show at 9:30 to give people time to get here. And I run it from 9.
You can tell Scarab that I was on tonight, if you want to.
Oh, absolutely. He'll probably show up sometime later on tonight anyway. He usually shows up around 3 or 4,
Can I tell you something that happened to me the other day? I don't know if I'm kind of embarrassed. So, you know how Brian has a live show every Friday?
Yes.
At 9:30? Well, I'm sitting there, and, I'm usually in the background, and I don't really say much. That's why you don't hear me say very much until he asks me, hey, do you have anything to say? And I'm like, yeah, da, da, da. I'm usually just sitting there being quiet, listening to everybody, going back and forth, and, and I'm sitting there, I have my phone plugged in, charging it, and I'm sitting on my couch trying to listen to the show, I fell asleep in the middle of Ryan's show. I literally conked out on my couch, woke up at 10:30, and I walked over to my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I fell asleep on the show. I fell asleep, and I was so embarrassed. The next day I told Brian's like, what happened to you? And I'm like, I passed out. I passed out in the middle of the show.
Yeah, Awakened Saint just put it, said Paul Adams falls asleep. Scarab can tell you about this one. This was about, I don't know, what was it, people, about a month ago? And I had been up for like 48 hours, you know? And I'm doing this show, and it's going all night long. And it's about 5:30 in the morning. I've been up for, 56 hours now. And Scarab's talking away.
Wow.
He's the guest on the show. And I'm the host. And I fell asleep. I woke up at like 10 o'clock.
Oh my God, you fell asleep on your own show?
Yeah, I fell asleep on my own show.
Well, heck, I don't feel bad now.
Yeah, everybody was commenting in there. Well, actually, I woke up and it was like 7 in the morning. And I went, I got to shut this down. Everybody was gone by then. But, yeah, all the comments was...
was on Brian's show on Friday, too. You know that, right?
What?
Scare was on Brian's show on Friday.
No, I didn't know, but he was on my show last night.
He's just doing everybody's show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on. He was there. We had a coma patient he was on. He was in a coma that woke up for, I think it was 4 months. So he was talking about his experience, which is basically what he said was, it was like being asleep. And I was like, Brian, that's all he had to say. The guy was in his 70s. And I felt bad because I was all excited, like, he had an out-of-body experience. You know, I'm thinking all this stuff. Oh, no, it was like being asleep.
No, he's right. I
felt bad because I told Ryan, I said, that's all he had to say.
Yeah, I was in a deep coma for 6 weeks, and I have no memory. I have no memory of the coma, but I remember they never expected me to come out of it. They thought I was going to be a vegetable because I had cracked my skull open in 3 places, and my brain had swelled.
Oh my God!
And well, when I woke up, it isn't like you see on TV where you wake up. It literally took hours upon hours of this process of trying to come awake, where everything was coming in colors and flashes in and out, and it was real blurry, and then it would come clear, and then it would go blurry again. I couldn't talk. I didn't know how to form words. I had to basically, it's this long process of coming to, you know? And when I finally came to, the doctor was over me, and he said, you lived.
Wow. So it's hard to explain to a person what it's like in a coma. I mean, you might have felt something different than the guy that was on. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know.
Was it scary? Like,
see, what happened to me was, it was during the Mash Bash, and I was drunk at the bar, and they were out of cigarettes in the machine when they had machines. So I left the bar and I went across the street to where the pharmacy was, and I got a pack of smokes. And as I was walking back towards the bar, I'm drunk. A guy left the bar about a mile down the road. He was drunk. He was doing about 48, 49 mile an hour, and I stumbled out in the road, and he hit me. And I broke 27 bones. I broke 27 bones in just a couple of minutes. I was a mess. Yeah, that's in that video, my story. And that night when I was in surgery, my sister was woken up. She was in bed with her husband, and the room filled with light, and she woke up, and there was someone sitting at the end of the bed. And she went to fall out of bed and fall to her knees, and the messenger said, I'm just a messenger. I'm not your Lord. Sit down beside me. So she did. And the messenger told her what happened to me, what hospital I was in, what surgery room I was in, and what the phone number was to the hospital. And then he told her that fear not, I was not going to die because God had great things in store for me. And then he disappeared. She in turn picked up the phone, called my mother, and then my mom called the hospital, and they said, absolutely, we have a John Doe in that surgery right now that was hit by a car, and yes. And they said, does he have a particular faith? Because they don't believe he's going to survive. And my mom told him, I have it on good authority he's going to live, so don't worry about it.
Wow. That was a guardian angel, I bet.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
believe that everybody has either one guardian angel or several around them. And they're always there watching over you. I believe that.
Oh, scripture says that everyone has a guardian angel over them.
Yep. I believe that my father's around me because I just get this feeling that he's been around me because my dad passed in 2002 in a nursing home
Yeah.
from a massive stroke. And, of course, my mom's been dead since 1991 from lung cancer. But I get this feeling that my father's watching over me.
Yeah.
I really do. And it's, you know what? We should feel blessed that people are watching over us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's really good.
Well, we're running at about 2
What
hours.
time zone are you in?
Huh?
What time zone are you in?
I'm in the Eastern time
What
zone.
time zone are you in?
I'm in the Eastern time zone.
Huh?
I'm in Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm about 27 miles away from Canada.
Oh, Brian's from the East too. Brian's from Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And I'm West Coast. So I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
There you go. I have we have friends of the family that live in Las Vegas. They've been there for, I don't know.
Oh, really? What part? What part?
I can't remember offhand. I haven't talked. My dad talks to them. I haven't talked to them in 20 years.
Oh, wow. Have you been to Vegas before?
Yeah, I've been to Vegas twice. Once, while I was there, I don't have very good memories of it because that was back when you'd go into the casinos and they would give you free liquor as long as you continued to gamble.
Yeah,
And
lots changed.
yeah, it was pretty much a one drunk week.
Wow.
And then the other time I was there.
Did you ever talk about what happened on the Strip? About, I don't know if it was ever brought up about the shooting. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was trying to explain one time in Scarab's video about it, but nobody wanted to listen to me. But I have a friend at work. She's actually a higher up person. Her sister and two of her sister's friends were at the event when it happened. And I was trying to explain to Scarab about this. One of her friends got shot, and the other one got shot as well. One of her friends died. I know they want to say that this is fake. It was not fake.
No.
The girl that works with me, the sister, yeah, it was real.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. Everybody's going, oh, nobody died. I'm going, yeah, they did. And I keep telling people, you seem to think that these elites that are actually staging these false flag attacks care about you so much that they're going to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to fake everyone's death when they can just go ahead and do it and kill all the people they want, and it's still a false flag. You know, and one of the things I kept pointing out to people is, I want you to think about this. When the shooting started and when they realized shooting was going on, the event turned all the lights on.
Yes.
Why would you do that unless you were...
Another thing that happened is the security guard that works inside of a Walmart, he actually worked part-time that night, and he told me that he was told by a higher up to lock some of the gates.
Yes.
15 minutes prior to the shooting. Yeah. He told me about that. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, I was there that night. He says, I was told to lock some of the gates 15 minutes before the shooting. I'm like, well, why would they tell you to do that? He says, I have no idea, but he got out of there. And he said he wasn't the only security guard told to lock the gates. There were other ones that were told to lock other gates. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was able to talk to a few people who were there, who witnessed it, but it was very much real. Now, as far as how many shooters there were, they're saying one shooter, but I keep seeing different videos, like, no, there was more than one shooter, that this guy was undercover for some kind of FBI sting operation to do with the guns, and I don't know what to believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because when you see all these different stories, there's a lot of cover-ups.
Yeah. Hey, all right, we're running at 2 hours and 5 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and shut down the live stream and let it upload to the channel.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I'd love to come on your show again.
Oh, absolutely. The phone is always open whenever you want to call.
I really enjoyed myself. But like I said, check out the videos that I was telling you about on Brian's channel. That he's got them all there.
Yeah, I will do that.
And we're live Friday night, and you're welcome if you want to come in and chat. I'm sure Brian would probably love to have you. Have you been on Brian's show before?
Actually, no, I haven't. I was just made aware of you guys the other night when I was on Scarab's show.
Oh.
But I'm going to tell you what, something
Really?
that Dan and I were talking about last night, and we're really seriously going to talk privately, not on, about this, but we're thinking on maybe getting something set up where we can have a conference for the Mandela effect.
Oh, that would be awesome. I do want to mention one more thing before we go. This is very important to you and all your listeners. The X-Files this week
Yes.
is going to have the Mandela show. It's going to be on the 24th. I believe it's 8 o'clock my time because I'm on the West Coast on Fox. It's going to have the Mandela effect in it. Now, I don't know how they're going to present it, whether they're going to be making fun of us or it's going to be serious. I didn't get to see any previews of the show, but I think we should all join in to watch it. Everybody watch it and see what happens. And then we got the new movie coming out sometime in 2018. I don't know too much about it, but Brian's friends with the director, David Guy Levy, and supposedly Brian was going to get an interview with him once the movie gets going. Brian's going to try to get an interview with him, which the guy promised that he would do an interview with Brian. Brian has another thing is you guys might want to send prayers. Cynthia Sue Larson is sick right now. You guys know who she is? She's a very famous author to do with the Mandela effect and quantum and everything. And right now she's sick. I don't know the whole story about why she's sick, but supposedly she's sick right now, and I need to find out more. But you might want to look into that as well.
All right.
Prayers for her. But yeah, I think we should all watch the X-Files. I don't know if Brian's going to go live or not. I'm going to ask him because he's 3 hours ahead of me.
Yeah.
I'm at work at 5 o'clock when he's watching it. But I think it would be interesting if you want to record it maybe and, talk about the show. That would be something you and Scarab could talk about.
There you go.
How it's taken, I don't know how it's going to be taken, how they're going to do the show, whether it's going to be serious, making fun of us. I don't know yet, but I'm curious to watch it, and I'm real excited about watching it. And that'll be the 24th at 8 o'clock, I believe, Fox. But I did want to mention that to you.
All right, fantastic.
Watch it.
All right, then, let me...
I really want to come back on again.
Oh,
I enjoyed myself.
The phone is always open here, That's what this is all about.
I'm really nervous, but I'm getting good at this.
There you go.
Plenty of practice. And I apologize again to anybody that I fell asleep. If you were listening to Brian's show, yes, I did conk out somewhere between halfway through the show. But I must have been really tired.
All right.
I'm embarrassed.
Oh, don't worry about it. Like I said, I fell asleep on my own show one time.
Tell Scarab I said hi. Remind him to watch the show as well. When is he doing another live call-in?
Who?
I get confused with all his shows.
Who?
When's he doing another live call-in?
On his show will be this coming Saturday.
Oh, okay. They did the Mandela Monday. Oh, they don't do that tomorrow, do they?
I don't know. I don't watch the Mandela Monday. I got other stuff going on, but I'm there on the Saturday show. I don't know if he does call-ins on that one or not. I'm sure he probably does.
I can't keep up when everybody's shows are on. The only way I can know is when I get like a reminder on my phone that's, oh yeah, they're live, and I'm like, okay, is that a call-in or not a call-in?
Well, in my case, it's every day, Sunday night through Friday night, starting at 9:45, and we go into the wee hours in the morning, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, every night, except on Saturday. Then I wait until Scarab show is over because I go over to his live stream, and I may pop over to Brian's also and slide in there. But the reason why I do that is I want to keep the doors open to anybody so that they can come here and fellowship and not feel alone. That the doors are always open, you know.
I really enjoyed being on your show. I wanted to thank you for letting me come on and talk and you know, talking about my experiences, you know, like I said in the last year. And I'm sure I'm going to have more weird things happen, especially what happened earlier listening to the video and then it changing within 5 minutes. It's like, how can that happen? You know what I mean? That fast.
Yeah.
Like literally, you know, you listen to something and it changes. It's like it doesn't want you to hear the truth. It wants you to hear it and it's like, no. It's supposed to be this way. And it's really bizarre, you know?
Yeah.
It's trippy how things are happening. Like, you know, you've gone through all the different paranormal things, right?
Oh yeah. Tons.
And I think that comes along with the Mandela effect. Because we're so awake that we see all these different changes. And like you said, I know there's going to be more coming, you know. But we just got to pray and be patient and just go along with the ride. I mean, what else can we do, right?
That's it.
Live every day to the fullest.
You got it.
You know?
All right, I'm gonna.
One more thing before I go. Besides the Mandela effect, guess what changed in my body? It's
What?
gonna blow you away.
What?
My ass has disappeared.
Your
I
what?
had full blown asthma. I couldn't even walk up yet. I used to walk up my stairs, and because I live upstairs, and my stairs are indoors. I walk up the stairs, and I was like out of breath. I literally had to carry an inhaler around with me everywhere I went. Do you want to hear something?
What?
My asthma's disappeared.
Really?
My asthma it's gone completely. Completely gone. I can walk a mile, 2 miles, and not be out of breath.
That's awesome.
Completely disappeared. That's a good thing that came out of, besides, you know, being closer to God, is also my health is improved for the better.
I think maybe God had a hand in that one.
Yes. And I thank him. I'm like, my God, my asthma's gone. And it's weird. Our bodies are being upgraded.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that was part of the upgrade with my asthma disappearing.
I don't know.
You know?
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut this live stream down and let it upload to the channel, and then I'll restart probably in about 5 to 10 minutes. So stick around in the live chat.
I want to thank you for letting me come on your show.
Oh, absolutely. You have a wonderful
And if
night.
anybody wants to get a hold of me, they can get a hold of me through Brian, because I'm not on Facebook no more, because I don't have no room on my phone. But if anybody wants to get a hold of me, go through Brian McFarland, and he will get the message to me, because we're in touch every day. I'm bothering the poor guy.
All right. Cool. All right. You have a good night. And, you have a good night and stay in the live chat, and we'll be talking to you over there.
Thank you. God bless you. And I really enjoyed myself.
Ah, thank you. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. There you go, folks. Boy, we went long on that one, but it was worth it. It was an awesome caller. So once and again, I'm going to shut the live stream down, let it upload to the channel, and once it's uploaded, I'll then go live again. And remember, if you don't see the live stream, refresh your browser or open up a new tab. So, peace, my brothers and sisters.